Hey there. This is your introduction to skate skiing position. So whether you are a current Nordy nerd or Nordork or an aspiring one, this is a video just to talk about position, alignment, and figuring out where your body should be while you're not on skis. So when you do get on skis, it's not completely sensory overload. First off, alignment. Two key points here. Basically, the lift of your arch and the spiraling out of your hip. So super easy to get a little knock-kneed when you're out there. And what that does is put your brakes on, which means you're edging on your skis because your knees are coming in, and that's going to stop your ski from gliding. Glide is efficient. We want to be able to glide as much as possible. Flat ski is the way to do it. Arch lift is as if something underneath your foot right here is causing you to lift up like that. Okay, it's the opposite of pronation, and it's a little bit of a supination. And as I demonstrate that, you can see where my knee goes, right? When my foot is flat, collapsed, or pronated, my knee turns in. That's going to put my ski on edge. That's no good. When I'm supinated or lifted up, I get my knee directly over my second or third toe. I usually say third toe because it's a lot more difficult to be too far out than it is too far in. A lot easier to dive in like that. Okay, so the arch lift, then the spiraling out from the hip. So it's external rotation of your femur, so your thigh, your kneecap, everything is kind of lifting up and out, and that goes right along with that arch lift. They're the same motion, it's just one coming from the bottom up, the other's coming from the top down. So in order to get that, you can do a little Pee Wee Herman action. So you're going to try to push both of your knees together, right? And you're going to resist that coming from the muscles on the sides of your hips. So you can kind of close your eyes if you need to, but you're going to push your hands into your knees, knees into your hands, and you're going to see if you can find those external rotators and abductors in the side of your hip that's doing that action. So if you can find the arch lift and the external rotation from your hip when you're on one ski, then half the battle is over. Second part of the battle is balance. So much of the sport is one-legged, right? You're simply standing on one ski gliding, pushing over, standing on the other knee gliding. You need to be able to balance on one foot on a slippery surface while you're moving without falling over and without diving your knee in. So if it's difficult to do this on the ground, then you can imagine how difficult it is to do out there. What you can play around with is the arch lift, the external rotation, and then the ankle bend. And you can play around with balancing in that position. So a lot of times when we're doing our Bosu ball or our balance activities, we're standing with a straight knee. With Nordic, we need to be here. So we ought to balance in that position. So big ankle bend, right? When I'm looking down right now, my knee is covering my toes. Okay, I'm not talking about proper squat position here. I'm talking about proper Nordic ski position, which is allowing your knee to come forward and trying to balance there. So you can reference my balance video, but lots of different variations. Once you're in this position, you can swing the other leg, you can swing your arms, you can close your eyes, you can turn your head, you can do any combination of the three, just making it challenging for your balance and holding that position for at least 30 seconds, giving your body a chance to ground, to figure out what muscles need to fire, to figure out where that proprioceptive sense is. Okay, balance, check, position, check. Third is the movement, okay? So it's all about coming forward. It's way easy to be here in your back seat. It's not going to get you sliding efficiently on the snow. From our position, you'll notice my other leg is just pretending like I just pushed off, right? So I'm gliding. You want to pay attention to your pelvis here. So notice I'm here, I do a posterior pelvic tilt, okay? So if my pelvis were a bowl, I'm not wanting to spill water out the front of the bowl. I'm tucking my tail under. This is all saying the same things, different ways. Posterior pelvic tilt, and I'm trying to lean forward as far as I can. So it's that catch point where you're going to be pulling here. Okay, so you're challenging your dynamic balance now in order to tuck that tail, let your body come forward, and then naturally you're going to have to step out of that. Play around with both legs. So arch lift, external rotation, tuck your tail, balance, and then both arms come up, and then you're just going to lean forward as far as you can, and then just catch yourself with your other foot as you're about to come out of it. Now, take note, the lean is coming not from here. Okay, what just happened? This bone right here, my greater trochanter, went back. Even though my body went forward, you can see I can stay here all day long. If I keep that line, okay, so if there's a line through my shin here, that should be the same line as my torso. And if I maintain those parallel lines and then lean forward with that posterior pelvic tilt, my whole body goes forward. So for me, I pay attention to a spot right here on the bottom of my foot. That is where the weight is going into when I'm in my Nordic position here. Tail is tucked, arms are up, and then it's the lean forward. Okay, so it's not a calf raise, and it's not an accordion down. It's just weight into the ball of the foot. Try and hold that for as long as possible. In a perfect world, and if you watch some of, especially the Italians, when they're Nordic skiing, they're way forward and they're really, really big before they pull, and that's going to give them that power in order to be here and then drive the poles down and then go over, depending on which stroke you want to do. Have fun!